Classic Cottage Art and Antiques in Bowling Green, Virginia, and I love to encourage and help people to make beautiful jewelry, paint beautiful furniture, and make beautiful home decor items. So tonight we're going to talk about proper prep. Chalk mineral paint is actually developed so that it sticks to pretty much anything. That's the beauty of it. You don't have to do a lot of prep. So basically all you need to do for working with probably just about any chalk mineral paint is clean your piece really, really well. These are the basic things you need to know. Clean your piece really well, and I'll show you that in just a minute. Repair it if you need to. So proper prep of our pieces generally means cleaning. If you don't have a piece that has a lot of lumps and bumps and chips and crackled finish, you can just clean your piece and go to town painting. So let me show you what I recommend for cleaning. Now you can clean your piece with pretty much, I wouldn't say pretty much anything. Some people do it with, say, the grease cutting dish liquid. I've done that. And some people clean it with vinegar and water. I haven't done that, but some people have really good results with that. But let me tell you what I recommend. I recommend Dixie Belle's White Lightning Cleaner. It's a TSP product, and it's a granular form. It comes in an 8-ounce jar. Basically, the recipe is 2 heaping tablespoons of this into a gallon of hot water. And then what I normally do is I'll mix it up a gallon at a time, and then I'll put it in my handy dandy spray bottle here. So, I usually use a white rag, although you can see mine are kind of not white anymore because I've cleaned a lot of furniture. And basically all you want to do, I like to give it a good little shake here. Here we go. And really and truly you're just spraying it on. Now I like to leave it for a second or two just to make sure it's kind of doing its thing. And I'm not even sure where I got this piece, but it's awfully ugly dirty here. It's been sitting in my basement for a while. And I don't know if you can see just how much dirtier that is. And that's just with one swipe. Most of the time, I'll do it a couple of times, especially if it's really dirty like that. Now, you probably want to make sure if you have sensitive skin to use gloves when using the White Lightning Cleaner, because it can be harsh if you have sensitive skin. My hands are so beat up, it really doesn't bother me much. It does dry your hands out. This White Lightning Cleaner is a deglosser, so it will take the shine off of something as well. I mean, that's just kind of nasty, and that's just with a couple of swipes, right? If you continue to clean your piece like this and it continues to come off dirty, it's likely, and I'm going to double check with this one, it's likely that you have a furniture piece that is going to bleed through your paint. Bleed through is caused by oils in the wood coming up through to the top basically, and it comes through your paint and it causes it to bleed, causes bleed through ugly brown, orange, pink splotches. Not necessarily what you want in your freshly painted piece of furniture. And of course, I would go through and do all that nice and neat, but just look how nasty that is. I mean, that's just nasty. I don't know if the light's in here too good. I mean, that's just, bleh. Imagine if I did that to the whole piece, which I'm not going to take the time to do tonight. You don't want to watch me clean furniture. But the second thing, pardon me, the second thing you want to do when you use White Lightning is rinse it off. Now, I use my Mr. bottle, or you can use a spray bottle full of water, or you can use a bucket and get a rag damp. I'm going to go ahead and use my Mr. bottle, but I'm just going to get it wet, because what I want to do is I want to rinse all of the residue of this cleaner off of my piece here. Alright, I'm going to take a different rag. Where's my other rag? Oh, there it is. This one is fairly clean. It's been well loved. I just wash them out and use them again. But I want to show you that, look, that still came off. So it's still cleaning. So I usually like to rinse it a couple of times when I do a cleaning step. Now, did you notice I didn't sand this? And I didn't strip the original finish off of this because generally speaking, you don't need to. Every piece of furniture is going to be different. I have problem pieces in my inventory right now. Now, and look, that's, you know, it's still cleaned on. This pretty much means that this is going to be a bleeder because I've cleaned and cleaned and cleaned, and just based on the wood, without tipping it over, can you see? I can pretty much tell this is going to be a bleeder. Now, another thing you can do when you're cleaning, and just to show you how that works, won't kill me to clean it again. Sometimes you can use a Scotch-Brite pad, particularly if you're cleaning kitchen cabinets before you paint them. Scotch-Brite pad will be your friend because it's going to break down any of the grease and the dirt and the stuff and kind of get more of the gunk off of it. Let's see what this does. Now, and this, oh, look at this. I don't know if you can see this or not, but because I'm using the Scotch-Brite pad, this had some previous paint. I don't know if you can see that little paint spots from some other project. It's actually taken those little paint particles off of there. And I'll take the time to do that more thoroughly later. But yeah, oh, hey, check this out. I just scrubbed this off of that chair. So yeah, maybe it is dirty still. So yeah, you would want to clean really, really well. Another thing you could do while you're cleaning with White Lightning is we have these little, we call them foam sanding sponges. Sometimes they come in handy. And if you don't have a Scotch-Brite pad and you want to get these, again, be sure if it bothers you, if you have sensitive skin, go ahead and wear gloves for this. And normally I will take my rings off because plated jewelry, I noticed on one of my rings it actually kind of ate through the plating. Luckily it's one I had made and no big deal. But yeah, so I may taking the stain off it. Look at this. Can you see? That's how much more dirt just came off of there. So maybe I need to clean maybe 3 or 4 times with this. Look at this. This is White Lightning. Now let me tell you a story. When I first started carrying Dixie Belle paint, I thought I didn't need White Lightning cleaner. I said, I'll just use my dish liquid with the grease cutting in it. Well, so I said, let me order some just to see. And I cleaned a piece of furniture with just the dish liquid, and I left it. A couple days later, my White Lightning came in. I tried it. I said, no big deal. My piece of furniture that came out, you know, pretty much clean after I'd washed it with the dish liquid, when I washed it with White Lightning, the rag came out pretty much like this, only worse. That made a believer out of me that White Lightning is probably the best thing you can clean a piece of furniture with. Now, why do we want to clean the furniture? Because we want the paint to stick to the furniture and not to the dirt. So, and I would go back and I would rinse that, which I probably should do. And after you've gotten it really clean, let's do this. After you've gotten it really clean, you want to let it dry before you paint. You don't want to seal in any more moisture than you need to. And you don't have to do it with a rag. You can do it with paper towels. But yeah, and this is still going to be a bleeder because all of this probably isn't dirt. It could be the stain that was on there as well, which also will bleed. Now, as I was saying before, did you notice I didn't sand this? For one thing, the finish is fairly smooth, and I don't need to. I rarely sand unless I'm going to stain a piece, like a dresser top or something, or a tabletop. That's the time when I will sand or strip a piece of furniture because I want to go down to bare wood if I'm going to use an oil-based stain like our no pain gel stain. So that's usually when I sand. Or if I have a piece like this, you see how it's all kind of, I don't know, it's kind of crazed and crackled there. I will likely sand this piece down to bare wood before I start, because your final finish is only as good as your foundation that you start with. So if I start with a foundation that's all cracked and messed up like this, it's going to look like this with just fresh paint on it. So that's not really the look I'm going for. When I sand, I usually sand with 220 grit sandpaper, either by hand for like something like this if I needed to sand this. A sanding block is always good for flat surfaces if you want to sand by hand. But because I like power tools, I usually, on big surfaces, I use my DeWalt orbital sander, random orbital sander. Now, let's talk about, do I need to clean a piece of furniture that's been painted before and I just want to paint over it? The answer would be probably, especially if you don't know where it's come from. Here's the thing, if you're going to paint over a piece of furniture that has been waxed with a solvent base waxed, say like the kind you can get at the hardware store, or another one of the chalk paint companies has a solvent based wax, you definitely want to use mineral spirits to cut the wax. The White Lightning isn't going to cut solvent based wax, so you're going to need to use mineral spirits and just keep applying the mineral spirits and wiping it back till it grabs, because then you'll know that all the wax is off. So let me show you an example of what happened. You might say, well, that's a slick surface and I'm just going to put slick stick over it. So because I wanted to test that theory, I knew the answer, but I wanted to test it anyway. This is a frame I did in another brand of paint with their wax. And I said, okay, we were talking about slick stick a couple weeks ago, which is for slick surfaces. And I painted over it just to see what it would do, just so actually for a visual for you guys. And slick stick painted on it fine, but now if you can see, can you see what it's doing? I can't see what it looks like there to you guys. There you go. Look at this. Because it's not adhering to the, I hope that doesn't sound like fingernails on a chalkboard to you. But see that? I just scratched this slick stick off because it was painted over a solvent-based wax. So what I need to do now is I'm going to sand off the slick stick, but I'm also going to go over this whole frame. Not tonight, well, with you, that would just bore you to tears. I'm going to go over this with mineral spirits, till it all comes off, and then I will likely wash it down with the White Lightning, like we did the chair. Okay, Belle really is, and most chalk paints are, that's what they're kind of formulated for, so you don't have to do a whole lot of work to get there. If it, if that's what you like to do and sand, that great. That's great. I don't have time to sand a lot, so I like to work smarter, not harder in my case, because I don't have a lot of time. But as far as priming goes, that's another thing about chalk mineral paint. You really don't need a primer in most cases. Now, when I talk about preparing your piece of furniture, the little to no prep is in most cases. We all know that there's always that problem piece of furniture, like, well, now this one's going to be, because it's going to be a bleeder, right? So there's a few cases where you're going to need a primer. Slick surfaces like glass, or slick finishes like tile, those type of things. Slick stick is a bonding primer for slick surfaces. You only need it if the surface is slick. So that's when you would need a primer. The other thing, and we're going to have to put it on this one, but not tonight because this isn't dry or finished cleaning, you would need the product Dixie Belle has called Boss, which stands for blocks odors, stains, and stops bleed through. This is going to be a bleeder, so I'm going to have to, and you will find that quite a few pieces of furniture, particularly from the 30s up to about the 50s, whatever they used in that wood, it's probably going to bleed. And let me talk to you another reason. I just thought of something about sanding. If you have a surface that is not cracked and crazed like our little table over here, if you have a surface like that that's encapsulated with, say, varnish that's in good shape, or maybe polyurethane or some kind of finish that's in good shape, if you were to sand all the way down to the wood for that, you could break that finish and actually cause bleed through. So if, as long as it's encapsulated and it's pretty much no cracks or crazes in it, you won't need to sand that piece. As a matter of fact, you may actually cause more of a problem if you sand through the original finish that's intact. So that's another reason not to sand. Again, I don't want to cause myself more work if I don't have to, right? Thanks for watching, and if you haven't subscribed to my YouTube channel, please consider doing so. And if you like this video, please give us a thumbs up. Have a great day.